once you're pregnant, once you're in that stage, even your friends who this has not happened to will kind of try and manage you from a distance, from afar. But then you'll find if you have mother friends, they'll try and bring you close because they know how isolating it is. And the advice now I get, and I was given this by a very interesting friend of mine, and she was my boss then. She was called Maria Wamakonjo. She told me this when I was 25, and I'll never forget. 10 years down the line, I appreciate it. She told this to me. Actually, I was 23. She told me, try and never maintain only a group of friends in your age set. Get people older than you. They have already gone through these things. They will prepare you. And then get friends who are younger than you. They'll always aspire. You'll always have something to, you kind of will be grounded. So what happened to me during my transition is I had a lot of older friends. So it was lonely, but I had them. Like they would pick my call at 12 midnight. Like they'd know this one is in shit. Like they already know that feels like probably something is wrong. They'd call me first thing in the morning. How did you guys sleep? I'll pass by over lunchtime. Then they kind of knew things. They're like, they would come and visit me with food, pre-packed, nini, utaitaji. Like there was no explanation. And then the younger ones would come to just check on me. Like, are you good? Are you okay? The ones who are my age continued with their lives. And then I was just like, hey, now you are Nasonga. Now you're isolated.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of isolation in motherhood, especially the early stages. Now the perspective of life that I got, which I still like now, I'm having that awakening on, and it's painful, but it's such a reality. I'm still having it because as she said, it doesn't stop. Every single sphere of your life keeps changing as you're seeing your child develop. It keeps changing.
Yeah.
So like when my kids have reached now going, they're both gone. They're no longer in the house. What you are going through, you see what you're saying, how you feel guilty that they're not there. Now they are not, and they don't care about you. They have lives. They're out. So the house is quiet. It's like if you take leave and you stay in the house, it's a vacuum. Like you have nobody to take care of, and then you're left with a partner who you want to almost blow their nose because you're like, because you're used to doing things for people, so you kind of what do we do? So you see those kids, you see those mamas who serve their husbands, and you're like, me, it can never be me. Aki sikupenda kwake, hana mtu wa kuserve, because they have nothing to. You've done it so naturally, and now you want to serve somebody. So then, who is near? Spouse. Wacha nikupatie chakula. It has nothing to do with. It's just so when I am seeing that transition, my perspective in life, because now I'm preparing myself to imagine they'll be 18, they will leave, and then somebody once told me, take your time with these kids. When it's done, it's done, because when they turn 18, you're no longer a parent, you're a relative. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, and she just told me, okay, how many times do you visit your mother? I'm like, yeah. Who's your mother to you right now? Who's your relative?
Your mom?
It's your relative. She's your mom, but to be very honest, she's your relative. She's just a relative, just like any other relative that you visit, you take care of. You have a stronger relationship with them, but they're just your relative. So that perspective in life that they'll not be permanently with you again is hitting me hard. And now accepting that at some point the transition will happen and I should be able to detach. I should be able to. Yes. So when they come and tell me about their friends, let me tell you, and then the things that nobody even prepared you for. When a 5-year-old tells you who their husband is going to be, and you're just like, wow, 35.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is 5. You got 30 more years, but it's okay. It's okay to plan. Yeah, plan ahead. But then it hits you then that this child is already trying to detach, to tell you that I will have a different life from your life. My kids keep telling me, which I'm proud of, when we grow up, we want to be moms. I'm just like, yeah, I did a good job, guys. Like, look at that admiration. Product wants to be producer. Anyway, ask your question.
I'd want to circle back to another point you said about you learning how to be. There's so many roles as a mom you end up taking on, and I would want to ask, how...
Usiulize juu ya balance story.
Tuachane na balance.
No balance.
Yeah, this one no.
You're navigating being a mom you still need to be the person you need to be at work, and then you also need to be a partner to your partner. I'm also understanding this experience could be very different for them, because maybe I'm assuming the only difference for the guy is akikuja nyumbani kuna watu wengine, or maybe his bill imeongezeka, but I am yet to understand to what extent this changes for the guy. And I mean, he would still have the same expectations of you, how you were before. He knows the person, he married with the person he was dating at the time. So it's like, I have a partner and I have a child. But then when he's experiencing less of you because you're going through something else, how can the other person be there for you, or how can you still keep the relationship there
Going. Is that the question, or the balancing of work?
No. It's this is in relation to partnerships and relationships you have as a mom. Because and even before we go to friends, I'm talking about at home.
At home.
Because
And even at work. So it's a 9 to 5 mom. 9 to 5 moms. So please allow me to tackle the work bit. Something that is very hard for women to accept, but a lot of women are now accepting. Once you've experienced it, you just know kuna level ya balance, haiko balance in terms of gender roles in the world. As much as we want to advocate for equality, there's certain realities a woman faces once they have a child in the office. So with that comes boundaries. And I remember in one of our episodes we were talking with Kanali over the boundaries that you must put and guard yourself around, especially when it comes to the corporate environment. Because then you can either overextend yourself and then it will harm your mental state, which will then affect your child, which will affect your relationship with your partner, which entirely will destroy the partnership and the family you hold. Okay. So from a corporate perspective, as a 9 to 5 mom, I'm a biggest advocate of boundaries. You need to know what your contract says. You need to know what is expected of you in the office.
Law.
And the law. And in addition to that, you should be able to articulate your experience so that there is no assumption. For example, my child is sick. I am not able to come to the office. That you should not be punished for that. It's not a punishment. It is not something you cannot not take care of. It is a responsibility and it can't wait. So there are people who have the privilege of having, nannies, and let's not assume that's the case for most people. Some people who are living with their parents who are helping them to take care of the kids. So in retrospect, you must have boundaries. So those boundaries are important. You should try and also create a relationship with whoever is supervising you to be able to articulate what you're going through. People assume that sometimes women take advantage of the situation, but it's very unlikely. Because faking your child's sickness, how would you do that? Because at the end of, the strangest thing about kids, you fake it, tomorrow they are sick.
They will be sick.
Tomorrow they'll be sick.
And these things happen.
And one thing I remember, one of my senior leader in the company I work for told me the saddest reality is when a child is sick, automatically the mom is sick. You're sick because you are sick with anxiety, you're sick with anticipation. You're sick in a sense that you cannot be settled. But what you're supposed to give your 100% in the office, but the reality is you do 10%, you do 20%. Okay? I feel that is something that we need to just tell women and to be honest about it, especially when it comes to balance. Then number two, in that particular aspect, if you look at the men who go on paternity weeks for 2 weeks and they come back, you can never race with them. I have been in the corporate world right now for 13 years. I have been a mother in the corporate world for 7 years now. The men who are my friends, who we've all started families at the same time, running much faster than me. I tried to catch up. It's been hard.
Wait, is it because society gives them the push, or is it they already have the motivation to?
They have the motivation because now they have to make more money to take care of the family. Not that I don't have the same thing. I do have the same drive, but I will not be able to run in the same pace as they are. Because you remember, you're running carrying somebody, they're running on their own. In this environment, anytime your phone rings, your child is you will stop everything.
I swear.
You can't be even in a meeting.
Even if it's just a call to ask, you will still panic.
You still panic. So you can't be at the same space. And it's something we need to stop tell women to stop beating themselves about. And I remember reading somewhere that your career kind of hits a slow for another 2 years. Accept it.
Per child.
Per child, yes. It's what I read. I'm not so sure. But for me, from my experience, I've seen it. I've now 2 kids, 4 years. I can't compare to the men in the same environment. And the 4 years, I have to compensate for them. And that's why now you have to have older women. See women in their 50s now. Tell me women in their 50s if they're not rocking this world. No, look. Most of these women, look at the governors, look at the women in leadership in this country right now. How old are they? The ones who are literally running. Kina Shole, they are at a certain age where all these things have settled down. So they can run.
They can conquer now.
So you just need to accept this is a phase. Don't push yourself too much. Once this phase stops, which I said, once my children now have gone to school, I'm already seeing it. Yeah. So you can be ready to run. When you start running, you can run. There's no competition. So that answers the corporate sides in terms of boundaries.
I think one thing I remember what you told me was don't overextend yourself.
Don't.
At work. Because then you'll want to prove yourself that you're still worthy, you still can work.
Even though, yes,
I'm still agile. So do not overextend yourself. That's the one thing I carry myself with. Like, even if you don't give me that opportunity, it's fine. I will find a way to...
Yes. I mean, women are innovative, friend. So,
hey.
Sipati, lakini ninauza diapers online bana. Hiyo income inakuja bado. No, seriously. Mimi ndio connect wa diapers na wet wipes. Yes. Yeah. So, I might not be making money like that man in that avenue. Chama sasa sababu pesa ni lazima itokee. Unaingia chama ya sasa 3K. Ulikuanga ya 1K. Uko ya 3K sasa.
I swear.
Yeah. So, si ndio?
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's yeah. I want you to tackle the partnership part.
I have forgotten what the question was. My perspective?
No. It was...
How do you maintain the relationship?
Oh, after the child. Wow. So, still in a learning phase, honestly. But what I've realized is you have to be intentional. It is so easy to find yourself carried away in the child, like taking care of the home, the child. You will start saying, I cannot make time. I have all these things to do. I have to make sure we eat. I have to make sure this child eats. The clothes have to be done. You see, it is a lot. I'm not saying it's not. It's a lot of work, by the way. Even just to think of supper every single day. It is a lot, still a lot. Make sure everyone has eaten. Everyone is okay. We're going to sleep. Evie. So it is easy to find yourself drifting away from the relationship, and you start finding yourselves mnakaa kama roommates, like mnapatana tu jioni, hata muongei, like nile hey mnakula mnalala, mtoto unashinda kuongea na mtoto. It's very easy to get carried away, by the way. So I would say be intentional. What I used to look forward to when I was in maternity leave and my partner would come home, I would look forward to our chat after the child ameenda kulala. Like we just sit in bed and we just talk. Hata kaa tu ni yeye aniambia about nothing, or that was just what I wanted at the time. And it used to work for me, and I hope for him too. And we are not there yet, like could do date nights and all that. But that's where I'm hoping we can, like just me and him. Me and him, not the child that tunakuja na mtoto, just me and him. Because I feel like you have to now learn this person again. Because some things zinaanza to come up zenye you are not even...
Child wounds.
That's the word.
Unashautia mtoi wake.
They start coming up.
Because you grew up with a Luya mom who shouted every time.
And that's what you know.
Trauma.
And a man had a loving mother who'd talk to them.
And you are here shouting.
Yes. But that's so true. Let me tell you. Unashautia mtoto wenyewe unajua kumbe si wako peke yako.
And 100% that's when you realize wenyewe kumbe pia uko na say for this thing. So yeah, be intentional, honestly. That's all I can say. And make time. Because why?